Welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we're joined by one of the toughest and tallest in the game. Public enemy number one, TJ Marconi. From New York's indie scene to championship gold across multiple promotions, he's got stories, battles, and plenty to say about his journey. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on! What's going on, bro?
What's up? What's going on, dude?
What's going on? How are you, man? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you?
You too.
TJ Marconi. You know, it's really tough for me to say that name because obviously we have a history. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to break kayfabe. You know what I mean?
No. We know.
Yeah. So TJ. So in case you didn't know, Primo, right? TJ and I, we have history, we actually went to college together, believe it or not. Right. So that's how we know each other, through our St. John's days. And, full circle moment, we are here. We started a wrestling podcast, and TJ's been in the game,
way too long.
Oh, shit.
We're talking over 10 years, right? Over 10, 15 years?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I started training in 2009. So, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, TJ, we are super excited to have you on the show. We are so grateful for you giving us this time for us to not only, learn more about you, but let our primos, which are what we call our listeners, learn more about you as well. And this is the part where I'll just throw it over to Ariel because I fumbled this in our last interview. So Ariel, give TJ the breakdown of what we're about to get into.
I'm gonna get you the 90-second breakdown as opposed to the 7-minute one that he did on the last interview.
Yeah, it was rough.
Generally, it's an interview, but the one difference is we have what we call our staple question sandwich. We're to start with the question that we ask all of our guests, whether they're wrestlers, fans, what have you, and we're going to end with the same question. Everything in between, of course, is obviously different, tailored to our guests, such as yourself. So just so you know, same starter, same finisher, and then maybe we'll throw a bonus one or two in there. But we're just looking forward to getting to know. Well, I'm looking forward to getting to know more about you and to be able, and I know because Eddie does, to be able to put this out there so everyone else can. So thank you for your time. We truly appreciate it.
Of course.
Yes. That was beautiful, by the way, because I would have destroyed that. I would be like, we would do this and point A to point B. It was rough. But all right, kick it off.
It was so bad. Okay. So our staple question is generally, what is your first core memory of wrestling? A specific match, a specific moment? This question varies because when Eddie and I first started talking about it, for Eddie it was a specific match. It was the return of, or the introduction of Kane. With the Undertaker. For me, I just remember, watching Lucha Libre with my grandfather in his living room in the Bronx. So what was that first core memory for you? Was it a match? Was it a moment? Was it like what essentially was it?
It's weird because it doesn't make sense to me because I wouldn't have been able to watch this match, but I remember WrestleMania 6 and there's no reason why I should remember it. So I'm assuming I watched it on syndication on Saturday morning, when they put it on after the cartoons, after X-Men. But I remember watching Saturday morning wrestling with my grandma, and for some reason remembering Hogan versus Warrior, which makes no sense because my age doesn't equate to that. But the first match that I vividly remember that I seen live on the Saturday mornings things was Hakeem and the Boss Man versus Demolition. And I don't know why, the scantily clad tag team and then the cop and the African.
Well, Hakeem had the long African robe white, and everything.
The African, the guy that was bigger than me was the African Dream. I don't remember why that was the match I remember, but it was definitely Saturday morning cartoon, after the cartoons, Saturday morning wrestling.
Yeah, it's old school because those cartoons were a thing in the Saturday mornings back in the 80s and 90s. And then you would go to wrestling and then you're like, all right, I gotta get out the door and do what I'm doing. Yep. Now.
Then I go, then all right, you're done now. Go outside, come back home for dinner.
Right, exactly. We see when the streetlights go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should probably take this moment to shout out all the grandmas because a lot of stories that we hear from the pros, they're always like, "Oh yeah, it was watching in the morning or in the evening with my grandma."
Yeah.
Everybody's grandma was like a wrestling
Yeah,
fan back
well,
in the day,
because no,
apparently.
because our parents left us to our own vices with them, so they were like, "Hey, we're going to do stuff. You watch the
And then,
kids for a
like, I
while."
don't know if it's just a New York thing, but like Bruno San Martino was like a hero to New Yorkers.
Right.
Like he was
Yeah.
like the next. It was Jesus, and then probably Bruno San Martino. So, Grandma needed to make sure that she was watching wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about it. Actually, you make a very solid point to segue into the next question, right? Bruno Sammartino was huge for New Yorkers. But speaking of that, growing up in New York, right? What role did the city and basically wrestling culture in general play in shaping your love for the business and how you got into the business? Like, how did that all come together?
Well, because like as like even growing up as a kid, wrestling was like kind of like niche, but then like in that middle school time, it blew up, and
Yeah.
wrestling was cool. Wrestling was the thing. Everything was wrestling. Teachers knew about wrestling. Your parents were watching wrestling as Stone Cold and The Rock. Everything it
And
was
DX
fresh.
and
NWO,
NWO.
DX. So
Yeah.
like, and it was very New York. I feel like because it had Shotgun Saturday nights, and they were here. It was like it was a wrestling and New York kind of like blended together at the time. It was very
Right.
in your face wrestling. It was like Attitude Era, but then New York
Yeah.
has always been Attitude. So
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's probably around the time when they opened the WWE restaurant in Times Square.
yeah, that for a few
Yeah, I
years.
remember
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
yeah,
but they had that. I remember going there and like to watch like a pay per view. It was then the pay per views, and it was like it wasn't that expensive because it was still kind of new and they were still trying to get people in on pay per views. So it was like a bucket of beers and the pay per view for like $60. You were like, great, done.
imagine that now in
I'm
Times
in.
Square.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's amazing. I love
So
that.
you started training obviously early on because you said you're a little older, which I definitely have you beat. But so who were some of your inspirations when you started training?
So like I surprisingly Kevin Nash was my favorite wrestler. But then when I
Mm.
started training, I had more of appreciation for guys like Bam Bam and Vader. Chris Jericho was like I didn't know WCW was real until Chris Jericho was like the first hour of Nitro. And then I realized all those action figures I had as a kid that I thought were fake, the ones that didn't move, are actually real wrestlers. So yeah, so like Chris Jericho was my guy. Even when training, I wanted to do all the stuff Chris Jericho did, even though I'm 6.5 feet tall and 300. Well, I was actually 400 pounds at the time. So like
Wow.
I'm trying to be Jericho when I have to be more like Vader and Bam Bam and all the bigger guys. But like
Yeah,
Kevin Nash was my dude because Diesel was the reason why I wanted to be a wrestler when I was a kid. I'm like, this
Nice.
guy is so cool. I need to be like him.
Nice.
yeah, Big Daddy, cool. That's good. All
Yeah.
right, man. All right, okay. Oh man, you getting me hyped for this. Okay, so now, so over the years, right? In following, your wrestling career through the social media, I saw that you went on probably around the same time that Kenny Omega was doing his title belt collection. Because I remember you were going around promotions, and every time you posted a new post, I would see a new belt,
Yeah.
and but it was but the you were billed as public enemy number one, and I
Yeah.
remember that. So like, how did that persona come to life, and how has that evolved, over time in your career? You know what I mean? Like, how did
So
that start, and then where is it now?
So the Public Enemy persona was actually me like pivoting over. I turned heel at a show, and I turned heel so well that I made the internet believe that I was like this actually beating up people. And like the boys were tweeting I had to cancel me and all this stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna run with this. If you really think that I'm this big villain, this big bad guy who's going into business for himself, I'm gonna run with it. And that's how I made the Public Enemy persona, because I was like, all right, I was watching like gangster movies and Road to Perdition, and Public Enemy number one was like, how they would brand the villain or the mafia guy or the guy they're going after. So I stole that. But then with the belt collector thing, I'm a huge nerd. So I love Marvel, and
Nice.
um Infinity War was coming out and Thanos was everywhere. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
how can I incorporate the Infinity Gauntlet and not be like completely nerdy, but like in my own heart be nerdy. So I was like, I'm gonna start being the Thanos. I'm gonna start collecting all these stones. Sadly, as I'm doing this and getting all these companies to like go with this gimmick, Kenny Omega's doing it on TV.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm like, all right, I was ripping off Omega, but I mean, I still had a lot of fun with it, and it was a cool thing on the indie level, especially like around the Northeast, and then like I collected like 8 belts, which is unheard of. And now Mercedes is doing it in everywhere, so I guess it works.
Yeah,
You gotta
for
have
sure.
the villain collect all the titles for the bad guy for the good guy to usurp him.
Yeah. I mean, but to be fair, for the record, right, for our primos out there listening, I mean, you started it first. I saw you with the belt collecting.
A lot of what you see happen on TV. Because listen, like it's no shade, no like ill will. We're all wrestling fans at the end of the day. Even the guys on TV, they're wrestling fans, and they watch indie wrestling, and they're like, "Oh, this works. Let me see how I can make it on the bigger level," and then it's theirs. Like there's nothing they can do about that. You know what I mean? It happens. I'm not going to be angry about it. There's one thing I do that hasn't got stolen from me yet is like my choke slam catch thing where the guy that's head to ground because no one could pull that off yet, and I'm not exposing how I do that.
No.
So you can't steal that. You can't steal that from me, Braun Strowman or whoever the big guy is now, Uba Fame. Or I'm so like lost with the new guys now. I know Braun was the big guy and on Omos, but now they're both not there. So I don't know who the big guy is anymore. But they can't steal my move. They don't know how to do it. They actually. Tommy Dreamer's like, they're not going to be able to figure out how to do it, so you don't worry about it getting stolen.
Yeah. I mean, the wise words from Tommy Dreamer. I mean, if he's telling you that, that's listening.
Yeah.
But everything else, like, if something cool happens on the indies, it's going to get stolen. It is what it is.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's like, stand-up comedians say that. They're like, someone else, they're not actually stealing a joke, but they'll take a joke, twist it their way, put it kind of like that, and then it's theirs all of a sudden, and it's not, stealing.
And you could be bitter about it, but there's nothing you can do. It's like, it worked, and they took it, they played with it a little bit, and now it's theirs, so figure out something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you bring up an interesting point when you're talking about big men, and of course, you said before that Kevin Nash was one of your idols and the people that you really looked up to. So at 6'6", you're obviously one of the bigger guys on the indie scene. Do you feel that poses more pressure? Does it give you more opportunities? What's some of the benefits and what are some of the downsides in terms of being your size?
It's hard. So like I'll look at it as a wrestler. It's hard to like go into a lot of these matches and protect the size and protect the story of the David versus Goliath because they want to just like treat you like every other regular sized person that they interact with because that's the matches that they do. And also as a booker, it's hard to book a big guy because it worked all those years with Andre. I'm not saying that I'm Andre the Giant. Andre was 7'4", but the reason why Andre worked is because he was protected for all those years and they made money as a draw. Now you have a big guy. It's hard to book a big guy. You got to protect him. You can't like make him be a regular guy because if you do use big people correctly, it is an attraction for someone. Like, oh my God, I need to go see this guy because if the big guy just loses, then he loses his mystique. Or if he wrestles like every other wrestler, that height doesn't equate anymore. The story's gone. The movie, I guess, like the action is done. Because like if I'm wrestling like every other size person, then how am I making you believe that I'm this larger than life villain or larger than life hero, upcoming and then doing something extraordinary? I'm trying to think of the better way to put it, but I think it's a gift and a curse, honestly.
Well, I mean, because there's got to be, like you said, and even we talked about moves before, a different way to put it or a different way to kind of do it to make it your own and to separate yourself from other people, especially at your size.
Yeah. And then, like, of course, like the industry has changed for sure. Like back in the day, my size was the normal. Like everyone was 6'4", 6'5", where I would look the same height as everybody. Nowadays, you go to an indie show, everyone is normal, like 5'8", 5'9". I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but they do some crazy athletic stuff. But then you have the anomaly now, like, holy shit, it's a giant here. So now how does he interact with all the other people?
Wow, that's actually a really good point because I just finished coming off of the Fourth Rope event in Six Flags in Jersey last week. And you're right. I think the only big person there, and he's not even that big, was probably Slice Boogie or maybe even like Bull James.
Yeah, and Bull James is 6 foot maybe.
Yeah,
but
but everyone else is...
He's big boy. He's big boy.
Yeah,
he's big boy. But again, it's the airport test. Like I hear Taker talk about all the time on like the podcast. Like like when a bigger person walks through the airport, and no matter like, you always like, oh, let me go look at him. Like I don't know, it could be somebody because it's just your eyes get drawn up. And, no disrespect to anyone that's not 6.5 feet tall, but it's just it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So TJ, so check this out, right? So in our research, we've saw that you have not only faced but also teamed up with some serious names, in the independent wrestling scene. Um, so our question to you is like, so far in your career, which moments have like stood out to you like as career defining moments thus far?
So number one, I've said this before, is the match I had with Tommy Dreamer.
Mhm.
Because like I was wrestling for years and thought I was okay, but like, I didn't do any extra work. I didn't really go anywhere crazy. And then I got booked against Tommy Dreamer, had a great match with him. And he goes, "You're tall, you can cut a promo, you're in decent shape. How come you haven't got looked at?" I'm like, "I don't know." He goes, "Give me a week." And literally the next week I had extra work and I had every contact I needed to have. And I was on Raw and SmackDown, and then it would have escalated further. Things happen, and this is what it is. But yeah, like so my match with Dreamers won. I had a match with Jack Swagger, like the second match he had after he got fired, which was cool for me because I'm like, all right, this guy was fresh off TV, and
Right.
I went out there and had a crazy match with him. And let me think, wrestling on the show when Queens it was the Hardys and the Dudleys for House of Glory. They were the main event. And no, I'm sorry, it was Hardys were on the show, but the main event was Rey Mysterio versus Amazing Red.
Oh
And
wow.
I was the opener, and we had the crowd going nuts as the opener.
Yeah.
When we had a similar reaction to Amazing Red and Rey Mysterio. So that took that. I'm like, all right, I kind of can get the same reaction as them. I'm not saying I drew that house because it was definitely Amazing Red and Rey Mysterio,
Right.
but I was able to elicit the same response that they got in their match with my match. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
setting the tone, because Eddie has mentioned that before, that Shawn Michaels has said that opening match sets the tone.
Yeah.
So if you go out there and you bring the house down, and yeah, people know they're in for a great one right there.
Yeah. Like I remember that vividly. I'm like, holy shit! Like watching Ray and Eddie. I mean, Amazing Red and Rey Mysterio, the same show that had the Hardys on it, and the two biggest reactions of the night were, Ray, and then the opener. I'm like, holy shit!
No, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's crazy, man. That's got to be. I can't even imagine. Like just chills going through you. That's
100%. I was
Right.
turning to the guys in the match. I'm like, yo, we got the same reaction. Like, this is crazy. Like, we should be very proud of what we did. Like,
Absolutely, man.
this is Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio versus Amazing Red in Queens. There was like 3, it had to be 3,000 people in the nightclub, Amazora, and we got the same reaction as they did. So,
Oh, shit.
That's so awesome. See, we love hearing
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's
so good.
That's right. So also in our research as well, we've seen your hysterical response to Gargano's idea about interviewing WWE extras and stuff. So a couple parts to this question. So like, what was that experience like? Like, how did it come together? And I mean, you had a bit with Roman. Like, what do you remember most about that experience?
So okay, that was right after the Tommy Dreamer match. So like literally I wrestled Dreamer like maybe the beginning of the month, and then at the end of the month they were in town. And he goes, be at Wells Fargo at this time on Monday, and then you're gonna be at the Izod. Sorry, Izod was Monday and Wells Fargo was Tuesday. It was Raw and SmackDown. It's like, all right, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I get a suit, I go to the building, and the first day you do a bunch of paperwork, blood tests, doctors, all that stuff, W9, whatever. And we do promos. They said, all right, just because Raw was live and SmackDown was taped, so you're going to do more stuff tomorrow, but today just do some promos in front of everybody. You got to do 2 promos, one as yourself and then one, anything. So I did one as me, and then I did one as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I broke them. They were like pissing themselves. Jamie Noble, Road Dogg would pee in their pants like, this kid's great.
Nice.
So then we just had catering. Basically, it was Raw. They were behind schedule. So when Vince was still rerunning the show every 2 seconds. So we're in catering, me, a bunch of other extras, but the pop for that night was Tajiri had a student who barely speak English, and he was doing extra work. And for some reason, he wanted me to help him. He's like, TJ, please help me. I need help, right? So I'm like telling him what everything is. It's like where the bathroom is because he doesn't want to ask any questions. And we're sitting there catering, and Dutch Mantel walks in, and he's like, "We have a giant in the Yakuza by himself. I gotta get the fuck out of here."
Oh no!
And then like, so me and him, I go, we gotta go because I'm figuring we gotta get up because Dutch wants to eat. He goes, "Sit down, I'm fucking ribbing yous," and then he starts talking with us. That was the Monday. Then Tuesday we had extra work again, where we had some tryouts, and then we had to do rehearsal for we were going to be security guards trying to kick out Roman Reigns from SmackDown, and it was fucking like 9 of us. And they had me standing like in the middle. It was Sheamus and 9 security guards because all the extras were security guards. We had all 9 of us had to throw out Roman Reigns that night, and they were like, "No, you got to go stand over there because you're taller than Sheamus." I'm like, "All right." So I go stand in the corner, and then they start sending all security down the ring one by one, and then I'm the last one. They're like, "All right," because the big guy will be last, and he's gonna be like, "All right, listen, Roman, you got to go," and then Roman will spear you, and that'll be the end of the segment. But Road Dogg wanted me to rib Roman. He's like, "Do it as Arnold during the rehearsal." I'm like, "Oh God." All right. So I'm like, "Roman, you're being crazy. You're out here punching everyone and you're throwing out people with their chairs." And he stops. He goes, "That's not your real voice. Stop it right now." I'm like, "Yeah, they put me up to it. I'm sorry." He's like, "You can't do that. You can't do that." I'm like, "All right." So then we finished the rehearsal, but they changed the spear to a punch because they said I was too big for the spear. So I got the Superman punch, and then that was the extra work.
Too big for a spear. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. TJ is huge, so imagine Roman trying to spear this man.
Well, because they also said they wanted all the security guards not to bump like wrestlers.
Right.
We had to bump like security guards. So in my mind, I'm like, how would security guards bump? So I was like, because they wanted the illusion that we're not really wrestlers, even though everyone knows by now that we're wrestlers. All the extras. So yeah, he's like, he's too big to spear punch.
Yeah, I mean, you could sell a punch as a security guard a lot easier than you could a spear. Where you're like, okay, yes, and then wait to come back. Yeah.
But that was cool. Like Roman, ribbing Roman with the Arnold voice, and then the Dutch Mantel scaring the shit out of me and Tajiri student.
That's bro. And TJ, thank you for sharing like how that all works. Because I've always wondered, man. Because lately I've seen other independent wrestlers, when they're out in Houston or California that work in those areas, but you see them as like WWE medical or WWE security, and I'm always wondering like, do they have to apply for that when they're in town? Do they just have to show up to the building and say, you know what I mean? So I'm really glad that you kind of like put perspective on that and saying, in that scenario, Tommy, because obviously it was New York based, they were like, "Hey, you need to be here at this time and we'll get you." You know what I mean? Like I had no idea that's how it worked.
Yeah, like basically Tommy went to the head of talent relations like, this guy is good. Let's get him a look. And then like I'm assuming like there's the other ways they do it is like there's these big time schools like Booker T school and Brian Myers school where like they basically just give a call and then all their students will be whenever they're in town will get on there. But I didn't have that. Like my school wasn't connected like that. I had the match with Dreamer, and Dreamer was my connection to the extra work.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I had no idea. So we really appreciate you, pulling the curtain back. That's another thing that we love doing on the show. We just always try to bring that level of, both sides of the story, but also that sense of realism, because at the end of the day, even though you guys are pros, you guys are also people as well. And we just want to learn how this all works, man. So thank you for that.
And we want to introduce to our listeners and our primos and primas, that it's not just, the physical bumps, that there is, a mental game behind this, what it does take and goes into this, because we're always afraid that people would just label it as, jocks, taking bumps and things like that. It's like, no, there's a rhythm, there's a rhyme, there's a reason, there's so many things. So we love to hear stories like that to kind of, as Eddie said, pull back the curtain so people can kind of get to know the real people behind the characters that they say.
Yeah. And then actually, so since Ariel mentioned our primos, that actually brings me to my next question. So, for our primos, our listeners that are actually learning about you through this episode, if you could call out any match or any moments that you could recommend for them to check out, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, anything like that, to get the full TJ Marconi experience. Like, is there that match that you recommend that's out there that's like, oh, you need to watch this to really see what I'm about?
So if you want to watch some old school stuff, I mean, just look up me and Darius Carter's run and beyond, when like we were the Crusade for Change and like our like heel run there. That was kind of like, it was like a good 2 year run of just
Well,
great promos and 10-man tags and war games matches. But then like more recently, I would say like my match with Donovan Dijak last year, my match with Mansoor last year, like that's the more
Nice.
recent stuff. Those are all on YouTube. If you literally like TJ Marconi, Crusade for Change, you'll get all my crazy character work with Darius Carter. And then if you type like TJ Marconi versus Dijak, my match with him, TJ Marconi versus Mansoor. And then my Instagram, I realize now that like I could have banger matches, but like it'll get maybe a couple hundred views, but then a clip of like a cool move gets millions. So
Right.
like my choke slam catch thing on IG, which is, it went viral like 7 times now, like different times. Even though I've been wrestling well for over a decade, I got more node for that and more followers for my catch, my choke slam catch, the Thanos catch I was calling it. And then, so like my clips on YouTube, on Instagram, like my cool, oh, look at this half minute of segment of the match. Now TJ knows what he's doing. No, I've been wrestling well for years. Just now you get hooked on a 1 minute clip,
right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the
that
ADD
is
in people, they just want the
Yes.
quick clips, the shorts. It's like, I
Yes.
don't want to watch the 10-minute match. Give me the really
Yep.
cool move.
Yeah,
It's like,
they
that-
want the really cool move. That's it. And then I got more bookings from that stupid clip. But I mean, it's not stupid. I mean, it worked. I guess I
Yeah, I
wanted
mean-
the viral moment and I got it.
and you got it right. So
Yeah. But now everyone wants it every match.
So back to Darius Carter real quickly, because I just seen him perform live the past
sorry.
weekend. Yeah, for the first time. No, but he's really good. I wanted to ask you, how old is that dude? Because
He's a
like,
few years younger. He's a few years younger than us. Maybe a year or two younger than us.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I was really impressed.
Carter's biggest thing, like me, it cost me a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. We made a lot of money, but he's cost me a lot of money. I love Darius. If he sees this, I'll tag him in it. I love you, but you know that your inability to turn off has cost us so much money. Thank you.
Oh man.
So like there's so you pull back. There's a TJ and a
I'm
Troy.
about to say pull back. Yeah. Okay.
Like when I'm TJ, I'm TJ. When I'm Troy, I'm Troy. Darius is always Darius.
That makes sense. Because let me tell you, he was the main event of that BCW event that I went to last Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago. And it was a fantastic match with him and Donovan. Like really good. Awesome. Like classic, blow for blow. It was a solid match.
Oh, he's
But,
great in it. He's great. I'm never gonna take that away from him.
But as soon as the match was over, he got on the mic and like it was like he was still in the zone. And even when everybody started walking out, like he was still in. And I was just like, how long has this dude been doing this? He's really good, but like I had so many questions. So now that I know,
There's so many questions. There's so many.
I've been attached. Me and him went to the same school. We were kind of attached at the hip. We kind of trained together. We came up in the same class, like I've been attached with Darius my whole career, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So TJ, you've held multiple championships at different multiple promotions. Is there one that meant the most to you, and why? Or did they all, because they were all championships, have their own importance to you?
So my first one is always going to be important to me. I won the Ace Heavyweight Championship. I was like maybe 5-6 years in, and I didn't win anything. I was just like always traveling, maybe a little less than 5 years, but I was always traveling. And then that company, which was based in like Union City, gave me their heavyweight title like 2 shows into my run there. So
wow.
like I'll always be appreciative of that, because that was like, all right, they invested in me right away. Like
Right.
boom, so that was always be important to me. And then I had so one of my favorite people outside of wrestling that I met through wrestling, but I like him outside of wrestling, was a guy named Astro Morales, and I won the tag team titles with him in one of his last matches before he retired. So like the tag team run I had with him, I like that tag team title run I had with him. So those 2.
That was dope. Dope.
But I mean, there's been so many, and I'm not gonna shortchange any of the titles I've won. I love them all.
Absolutely, no, of
But like
course.
those 2 probably hold the most.
Right.
And then if I win the title in Rome next year, I'll be happy with that, because I can say I won a title in Italy. You know what I mean?
And yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, That
And if
that's
you
on the
don't,
list, of
people will
course.
riot, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yes.
But speaking of Rome, right? So independent wrestling in general is such a grind, right? So what has been some of the toughest challenges when it comes to balancing, real life with wrestling life?
I'm
If
still
you can
learning.
share.
I'm failing and I'm learning every day still. I'm 15 years in, I still haven't figured it out. I'm trying. It's getting harder. It's my goals are not. I don't want WWE anymore. I like my career I have. People at my job like, oh, if they called you, you want to take it? No. Like I'm like grateful for everything I've done in wrestling. I
Yeah.
have a lot of memories in wrestling. If I stopped today, I'd be okay. Do I want to stop today? No. But the real life and the fake life is definitely still a struggle. And people
Mhm.
do have issues like figuring out, like, they only live vicariously through the fake life because they don't like their real life. I like my real life. And it's definitely it's still a work in progress. But again, like I'm been doing this for way too long. I feel like 15 years now. I don't want to stop, but like if I had to, like I'm very grateful for what I've already done, and I'm very appreciative of what I've done already. I've done a lot, wrestled in 5 countries. The thing with Roman Reigns, I have fans literally in other continents. You know, people have started independent wrestling because they remember going to shows going to shows and watching me. Like I met a kid that's like, oh, I watched you as a kid and now I'm wrestling. I'm like, that's awesome. Like he's like, I
Wow.
remember you. So like I have good memories already. So I'm good.
Damn, well, that's gotta take you for a loop to have someone say that to you. Like,
Yeah, it makes me feel old though. But then I'm like, all right, it was still really cool. Even though I'm not
oh.
old. Like I'm old in wrestling, but I'm not
And
old.
right. Well, and actually, that the perfect entry to my next question, because we've been joking about our age and everything, and being old and stuff like that. So as the years pass, how has your program changed in terms of keeping yourself sharp, both mentally and physically, as the years progressed?
So physically, like when I first started, I did like crazy stuff that I would look back now. I'm like, why did I do this? Like the bumps I was taking, the matches that I was calling to myself. I'm smarter in ring now where like I build to the one big high spot where I protect my body. I protect my opponent even more, where we
Right.
don't need this crazy stuff. We do it at the tail end in the third act and we still have the same reaction. We're still going to build up to that moment. We don't need to do a car crash for 15 minutes. We can do a nice little monologue and then give them that car crash for 3 minutes.
Right.
And then mentally, it's just first I had to get over the fact that like, it's a struggle because, you still have that dream and you're still that kid that wants it, but you got to realize, all right, if I can't get that, there's always going to be this other level of success that I've had, and that's okay. So that would be the mental aspect of it. And then like
Mhm.
the whole making sure that I leave time for real life because I do put a lot into this fake life that I sometimes neglect the real life.
Wow.
Balance. Balance. It's all
Yeah.
about balance.
Wow.
There's only 24 hours in a day. I wish there was more.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate that candid and like honest answer because again, we say this over and over in all our interviews, we just definitely love to hear the real side of what it takes to become not only a professional wrestler but also just live this life. And the fact that you're so honest enough to say that you're still learning even 15 years into the game, and you're like, yeah, no, like I'm no one's perfect,
Right.
and I do the best that I can. And I'm sure you have a tremendous support system, that allows you to be able to do both TJ and the real life. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And to kind of go into the next question, actually, which you kind of touched on, but now let's kind of seal this, right? Looking at the landscape of the independent wrestling now, because we also bring this up, independent wrestling is like hotter than ever now. I feel like there's so much product now that people are going back to territories. I tell Ari all the time down here in Florida, CCW is bigger than ever. Like they have shows
I'll,
all over
I'll, I'll,
Florida
I'll be there in January
for Jaka's
for Jock's Day.
memorial.
Yes,
Awesome. I was
yes,
going to ask you that. So yes.
yeah. Oh,
So I will be there
and
then.
this might be a spoiler, But yeah, I'll be there. They're probably
Right,
flying to come up yet.
because you weren't announced. So yes,
I know they're
exclusive.
waiting for the next little
Yeah.
flyer. Sorry, I cut you
Uh-oh.
off. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. But in regards to the overall landscape of independent wrestling now, like, what is your vision for the next step in your career? Is it bigger indies? Is it maybe one final time on TV, or just leaving a beautiful legacy on the independent scene? Like, where's your mind at?
So
And your
I
heart
I
at?
seen I seen the indie wrestling scene go like up and down. So like when I got into it, it was on a down. So like the indies were like supposedly huge in the early 2000s, but I don't remember it because I was strictly WWE and TNA guy at the time. I didn't know the indies existed. I didn't know Ring of Honor existed, but it was
Right.
supposedly huge. So I got in on a down, and then it kind of went back up, and then it went back down, but now it's back on the up again now. And then like it's crazy. The AEW kind of when it popped in was it 2019, then the indie level popped again, even though there was a huge, like draft of them stealing all the top indie talent basically and
Yeah,
signing
pretty
them.
much.
The indies still blew up because the wrestling was interesting. There was more wrestling fans, people watching wrestling. They wanted to see local wrestling. So a lot of wrestling did blow up around that time. And then I use Rome as an example. Wrestling in Rome is blowing up. There's so many indie wrestling companies in Rome now where like they didn't have wrestling. They always treated it as like carnival. They didn't respect it. They didn't even have it on TV. So like the fans there, their remember of TV wrestling is like 2005 SmackDown. So like their favorite wrestlers are Edge, Rey Mysterio, Nunzio. Like they remember like SmackDown only. SmackDown only into like the mid 2000s. So like I go out there and talk to these wrestlers during the seminar about like Stone Cold and The Rock. They're like looking at me like I got 6 heads. But you tell them Nunzio, they're like, oh my God, yes, Nunzio, we love him, Funaki. Like they like remember like because they would get it on the free TV out there. So that was their wrestling, and it blew up. It got taken away. I guess like they lost the contract, but then when it became on Netflix, it came on Netflix out there a couple of years ago. Like both Raw and SmackDown. I guess it's different out there compared to out here. And wrestling's huge out there now. There's companies blasting all over Italy. It's like there was one company, and now there's so many companies out there.
That's amazing. Wow.
Do I want TV again? Maybe. I mean, I want I honestly, I'm keep trying for NWA. I know they have their TV. That's kind of like where I can, if I get NWA, I'm good. If I get TNA, I'm good. I can't commit to a WWE or AEW schedule. I can commit to an NWA taping every once in a while. A TNA taping, well, now who knows? They might be weekly, but that's where I can commit to with my real life. I can't commit to a full-time contract like that. My full-time contract could be like, yeah, I can go tape every 6 weeks. I can, go appear every once in a while, and I'll be happy with that. And then like, I'm happy in the state where wrestling is right now. Like I just want to get back to the younger guys and like teach them like what I learned so it doesn't get lost. So like the stuff that my trainers told me to do gets passed on to the new guys.
Yeah.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward. Yeah, exactly. And with knowledge is the best way to do it, in your industry. So
yeah,
that's all right. Well, actually you're kind of, setting me up for the end of the staple question sandwich. But then I do have a bonus one that I want to throw at you afterwards.
Of course.
But so being that you said you can't commit to a full AEW schedule, WWE schedule, stuff like that. What would be one time dream match? Who would it be against? One current superstar, or from any federation, doesn't matter, and one legend. Who would it be? And I mean, obviously, I'm assuming it would be for a championship, but is there a preferred venue? Is there a preferred match? And then once again, who would it be against? Because you don't have to be on that contract forever.
No.
So it's
so current. Wrestling is about money at the end of the day. So who can I make the most money with? And the biggest money guy right now is Roman Reigns, in my opinion. So give me Roman. Roman.
That's the veteran. That's the in-ring veteran right there.
So like like people ask, the tangent. What's the best match from WrestleMania 3? Everyone's gonna say Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat. What match made the most money? Hogan and Andre. Wrestling's about money.
Yep.
So I want Roman Reigns. Give me Roman Reigns at WrestleMania because I make the most money, and probably in Saudi Arabia because let's get that oil money. You know what I mean? Like let's do it in Saudi Arabia.
See, fully thought out. Fully thought out.
Then the any person, I want Big Boss Man on Saturday night's main event.
Nice
for the IC title, and I want Boss Man to win because he deserved the friggin' title run. This is bullshit. He didn't have a title run, so I want to go into Saturday night's main event as the IC champion and drop it to the Big Boss.
And drop it to the Big Boss Man. Proper.
He deserved the run. I'm tired of this. No title run.
I like that. Shout outs to people who don't deserve the credit they or don't get the credit they deserve.
Big Boss Man does not get a lick of credit he deserves. Guy was 6'7", moving around like he was 100 pounds. Big Boss
Man, solid, man. Solid for years too. No,
he was fantastic, especially his resurgence during the Attitude Era with the corporate.
The SWAT.
It was awesome.
But then they fucking hung him.
The corporate ministry
back on TV. He was back on TV the next day. I
thought you killed this man on last night. Like, what do you? Because they properly the noose around his neck. And
they raised the cage up, and he's sitting there being hung. I'm a teenager going, this is terrifying.
Yeah, what is happening?
What did I just witness? A man get noosed. He's back on TV the next day. Nothing. He's fine.
Now. It's just one of those things during the Attitude Era that people kind of blank out because I remember it, but I totally blocked that because I was yo, that's wild.
You explain now again, when I'm training the new kids and explaining to them, because again, they go, I was born in 2004. 2003, and they don't remember WrestleMania 15 because they were negative 12 years old. Right. So I go, Big Boss Man wrestled The Undertaker, and at the end of the Hell in a Cell, he hung him. They're like, what? I'm like, he put a noose around his neck, and they raised the cage, and I thought I witnessed a murder, but he was back on TV the next day. Fine.
That's in the blocked memory bank of the Mae Young, Mark Henry hand baby.
Mae Young giving birth to a hand.
Yeah.
Val Venus getting his Piscadillo cut off.
Choppy your pee-pee.
We witnessed trauma every week, and we enjoyed it.
And we enjoyed every bit of it.
Absolutely. It was amazing.
That's the one I bring up all the time. Big Boss Man died and was brought back the next day. So wrestling, anything can happen in wrestling, and it's fine. Just worry about it tomorrow.
That's dope. All right, well, let me hit you with the last question that I wanted to hit you with, just because New Yorkers, that's all of us. So post match, right? Show, you're in New York, you're by the crib. Post match, New York style pizza or mofongo?
Yeah, you're gonna eat some Spanish food.
My skin color's gonna show here. So I'm gonna go with New York style pizza. I've had it in DR, surprisingly, which I didn't know what it was. I was wrestling in DR with a guy named Bronco. Bronco had a company in the Bronx who then brought the whole squad down to DR. I was the only white guy, and I didn't speak a lick of Spanish. And I'm in deep DR, not resort DR. I'm in the barrio. He's serving me mofongo. He's telling me that's where Big Papi got shot. So I've had it, but I'm gonna go with New York style pizza.
I can't. I mean, there's no wrong answer there. We just want to know which one it's going to be.
But it's definitely I didn't. I've only had it a few times. But it was good.
We gotta get you some. We're gonna get you some more. Get you on a little mofongo diet going.
Okay, so I got a fun curveball question then for you, right? And this is because we're gonna ride the coattails of how successful this Grande Americano gimmick has been, right? So if you were to go to a Latin American style country to headline one of their events, right? What would be your masked alias name?
I wrestled in a mask before, right?
No, I had no idea.
I was Noken in Shakara, but I wouldn't do that. I hated that gimmick. If you look up Noken, Nokken, I was masked in Shakara. It was Shakara is a weird company. Go down that rabbit hole, have fun. But I would do an Arnold Schwarzenegger gimmick somehow. as a masked character. I don't know if I would be Turbo Man or something. Because I always joke with one of my buddies, wrestling Joe Ocasio, that we want to retire, like just both be Arnold Schwarzenegger as a tag team, and just do the whole match as Arnold. So that would be I would be like, I don't know, Turbo Man, but with a lucha mask on. Get to come on, nobody likes you, Booster. You know, like that would be my
Booster.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's got to be a way. Maybe we can find a mask that's like half Terminator eye, half like Arnold's face, or like
something.
Like,
I would do that.
And then there you go.
Yeah. Like, what the hell is lucha libre anyway? You know, like I would be
anyway.
I would,
all you puny guys.
Yeah, look at these guys are like 5'2". They're twirling around. I'm just gonna kick them in the face. Look at you. That would be my
Nice.
lucha retirement gimmick. Yes.
Perfect.
Oh man. Okay,
Perfect,
I love that.
perfect.
That's awesome. Okay, so TJ,
Ideal.
so before we give you the floor to let our listeners know the full method to get in contact with you through Instagram, through through any of the social platforms that you have, I actually I also wanted because you actually brought this up, so I wanted to take this opportunity um to if you want, and we could cut this out, no worries, that's the beauty of
No.
editing, with the recent passing of Jaka. Right now, Jaka was somebody that we didn't get an opportunity to go and meet or interview or anything like that, because obviously we just started this year. But in jumping into this world of independent wrestling, I've had the chance to meet like the Sean Maludas, and people that did know of him. So in honor of Jaka and keeping his legacy going, is there any words or anything that you would want to share, any stories that you would want to let our listeners know so they could know more about Jaka, as a person and as a wrestler?
It's funny you brought up Sean. I didn't even know you talked to Sean. So like I grew up with Sean. Like
I had no idea.
Sean was at the dorm room. Jaka was at the dorm room.
No
like,
way.
They partied with you before. Like,
wow.
Like it's so that's how close we were. And it sucks. Like it sucks. Like he's not even 40. And that to happen. There's a lot of stories I can't say because he's a psychopath. But he was like our psychopath, and he had the kindest smile and the best heart and the best intentions. If he had $2 on him, he'd find out a way to give you $5. I don't know where he'd get the other $3, but he would find out a way to give you $5. Wrestling wise, so me, Sean, Jaka, and another wrestler that went by the name of the Pit Boss. We're on a way to a show in Cleveland, Ohio. Sandusky. We were staying in Sandusky, but the shows were in Cleveland. And on the way there, it was a friggin' 9-hour drive from New York. My car breaks down in the middle of fucking Pennsylvania, in Du Bois, Pennsylvania. I'll never forget Du Bois. We were stuck at a Sheetz for 3 shifts. So we seen the 8 to 4 shifts, the 4 to 12 shift, the midnight to 8 shift. We got 3 shifts. We saw all 3 shifts of people come in. We were stuck there for almost a whole day. And then we got picked up by the promoter and got brought back. But staying in that Sheetz for all that time and the shenanigans that happened there is probably one of my favorite memories of him that I could share. And then, there's a lot that I'm going to take with me. But you partied with Sean and Jaka before, Eddie, at the dorm rooms. Yes. So,
Wow.
and then like, that's why I'm going to get my ass on a plane and be there for his show in January. Cause like, he was like a real life friend. So like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, because and the reason why, and thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for fighting tears, because I saw it in your, but the reason why I asked that is because I did see some of the photos that you and Sean were putting up on Instagram, and I was like, that looks like that was in front of one of the clubs that we used to do like Daisy Dukes at, or like, you know what I mean? Like one of these sorority competitions.
I think Sean and Tyson were at the first time I won Daisy Duke.
Oh my
I think they were there. Yeah. And then there was one photo of the night, probably like around that same time, where we were at Latin Quarters in the city, and we got kicked out of Latin Quarters. I guess I could share this because it can't. was years ago, like Tyson, Jaka stole the Grey Goose bottle off a table, and we had to run out of the club.
Shit.
So, like, that's what I mean. Like, he was like, just because he thought it'd be funny to steal the bottle. I'm not gonna put it back. That's what he said.
You've come this far. At this
Yeah.
point now, you gotta flee from LQ as fast as possible.
Well, that's what we did. That's what we did. They did, but yeah. So, like, yeah, that's there's so many fucking memories. Jesus, oh my god.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
being,
man.
again, so candid, so honest, and so vulnerable, and just so real. That I mean, we have so much fun with these conversations, and we definitely had fun with this one. Now, TJ, of
Absolutely.
course, like I mentioned before, the floor is yours now. Please let the people know where they could find you, where they could see you, contact you if they need to, break into the business and get some advice. Please, the floor is yours. By all means.
So all my social media is the same now as I figured out branding. So TJMarconi, TJ Marconi across everything. I even have a TikTok, unfortunately. So TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at TJ Marconi, YouTube at TJ Marconi. By the time this airs, 2 of my bigger events have already would happen. I would hopefully be the CEP heavyweight champion when I beat Joe Ocasio in Greenport, and then I hopefully will steal the show at Starland Ballroom for Fight Factory on November 15th. So I'm going to just say that I did both of those when this goes out. Spoiler alert.
Congratulations.
And then, I have a very big event with CEP again. They're doing with Santa's Helpers, which is like a big Toys for Tides type of thing in Long Island. They're going to December 6th in Seaford. And then the other thing I want to make sure I put out there is Jaka's tribute show, which is January 17th. No, January. Come on. 16th. It's like it's a Saturday in January.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at this. I
right?
gotta get better.
In that general
Kissimmee,
area, in between 16 to 18.
It's before Martin Luther King Day. I want to say it's the 16th.
Okay.
So I'll be there. My flyer hopefully will be up by the time this goes on, but going to be guys from TNA, AEW, people that just were like, Jaka was everywhere, man. Like, he has so many people that loved him. So, like, there's going to be people coming out of the woodwork for this. Yeah. And it's going to be a huge thing. And it's all the proceeds are going to Angel Ortiz's school and Eddie Kingston's school, which Jaka is now going to have like a Jaka scholarship every year to give back. Because, like, we were broke kids from Staten Island that couldn't get into wrestling school. So, like, this is a way to get back to kids that want to get into wrestling. It's like the Jaka Scholarship Fund. And then, like, people that want to get into wrestling, like, my best bet is to, like, research, man, because there's a lot of wrestling schools now. Back in when I started, there was like 6. No, there's a few. But now everyone and their mother has a wrestling school. So just make sure you go to a school that's reputable. And even if they're a former TV guy, it doesn't mean that that's the best school, because some people are really good wrestlers but can't teach. And some teachers didn't make it to the big time. So just do your research, see where all the extras come from, where all the guys on TV came from. Go to those schools, you know what I mean? And especially, like, there's a bunch of them in Florida, a bunch in Texas. There's like 700 in New York now, but how many of them are good? Just do your research and reach out to wrestlers that you like, because most of them aren't, gonna like steer you down the wrong path. Like, if you hit me up, I know it probably takes forever to get back to you, but I will get back to you. And I'd be like, hey, like a kid from Kentucky goes, I want to start wrestling. And go, I don't know anything in Kentucky, but I know this guy's a really good wrestler in Kentucky, so hit him up.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Oh, TJ, again, a million thanks. Thank you so much for giving us the time. We we were moving pretty quickly through this interview, but I'm glad that I don't know. I felt like I had so much fun with this. Like, we really had a good time. It was awesome.
Yeah, because it did seem like we were kind of moving, and then I'm like, I was like, oh, we got an hour. Oh, great, this is
we did. Yeah,
I think to TJ, to your credit, I think when we can have a conversation that seems to just flow and be as easygoing as this was, and I mean, part of it, of course, is your previous relationship with Eddie, but I mean, the fact that you're just you're just a good dude from everything that I could tell, man. And so we want to
let
really
people know that when I'm playing the heel, I'm a dick.
Well, okay, yeah. So if you're listening, just see who's there. See if it's heel or if it's well, we want to seriously thank you for your time, because we understand how valuable it is, especially someone of your stature. So to be able to give us even just a little bit of time to not only help us out, but also get your stuff out there too, and just once again the knowledge base that we want to give to our primos and primas to get to know the wrestling game. To have someone like yourself to come and give us that information is just fantastic. So sincerely and wholeheartedly, we thank you very, very much.
No, thank you guys, man. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. And I can't wait to see you because I will be in New York, New Jersey area next week. Hopefully with,
Take him to get mofongo. Take him to get mofongo.
So I can't wait to see you live and, in action, but then also to see you, and give you a big old hug and catch up and stuff. And then again in Florida in January, bro. It's going to be an awesome couple of months for wrestling.
I forgot that you were down there. I was like, holy shit, he mentioned TCW. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'm going to be down there for Jock's thing. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm a huge supporter of the locals now. Like Shine is going to be happening. The whole women's wrestling is happening, I think, this Saturday. It's like anywhere it's around, I want to go. I want to meet. I want to talk to everybody. I want to get the Primo's name out there. And, we're doing good, so we definitely appreciate you taking the time to talk to us as well.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yes, brother. All right, man. I will see you soon. You have yourself a wonderful night, and we love you, man.
Take it easy. Please come back, man. Please come back. We'd love to do it again, please.
100%. After the Jock thing, maybe, or like during it, maybe something like that around there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Although, or come back and let's talk smack about like a PLE or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I gotta watch them first, man. I haven't watched. I just get aggravated because they haven't pushed LA Knight. And I just want them to get pushed.
Bro, we complain about that every week, bro.
Every week we're on that.
Guy's been consistently over for 3 years, and he's got new guys. Like, it makes no sense.
He gets
nothing.
The funniest meme I've seen is like, so he got to change his name to like Fatu and get a Samoan tattoo to get a shot because like what's happening?
I can actually answer that, but I don't want to bury myself in this one. The next episode, I'll bury myself. Why it doesn't get pushed?
Nope.
Oh, brother. All right, man. You are the man. You have yourself a wonderful night. We'll be in touch, brother.
Thank you so much, TJ. We really appreciate it. Thank you kindly, man.
Good night, fellas. Later.
Good night, brother.
Take it easy, brother.
Bye.
Wow. Right?
Wow. That was fantastic, man. He is like such, and it's crazy, man, because I feel like people are just gonna be like, Ariel just kisses everybody's ass. Because at the end of all of our interviews, I'm always like, nah, man, they just seem like such a good person, man. Like just down there. But I also think that has to deal with the caliber of people that are willing to come and do an interview with us. As people who are, because we haven't been in this game for so long. We're under, we're under 10 months or at 10 months or whatever. So for someone to come and give us the time of day, I think speaks to how cool they are. And TJ, just another fun vibe and good dude, man. And what I really liked about him was a lot of the stuff that he said he kept coming back to because of his age, paying it forward and giving advice and trying to help the people who are coming in, because we've said it to other wrestlers, this is a business that's going to keep going past when they're gone, so to leave it better than you found it is kind of what you want to do.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because you're right. Everyone that we've interviewed thus far, not only has that been a point that they brought up, but also in different perspectives, right? Because even someone as young as Izzy Moreno, right? She said the same thing. Like she wants to pay it forward, and especially for women's wrestling, right?
Izzy got in the game when she was 12 or whatever. She started training,
right. But then everyone else that we've spoken to, Danny Briggs, like everyone else, they've all have said, yeah, I just want to pay it forward. I want to help the next generation, find a good school, find a reputable school. You know what I mean? Like these are all points.
That's the piece of advice that we always get too. That's whenever we mention something about what advice do you have, people always mention find a reputable school, because there's a bunch out there. Find the right one.
Yeah, and now I can't wait to hit up Maluda and be like, "Hey, man, apparently we partied back in the day, in the dorms, and I had no idea."
He gonna be like, "Motherfucker, you didn't know."
Oh man, it's so funny. Yeah, but it's amazing how everything works, and like how small the world is, and how we run into people, and we 1 minute you don't realize it, and then now you're just like. It all makes sense,
I mean, that's part of the fun of being in a community. So it's like a wrestling community where, even though they may not make sense, it's like, oh no, we have met before, we have done this. Like, oh shoot, okay, cool. Like so, once again, community. And that's why this is great, for the people who come on here and give us the time of day to listen to us, because they are part of this wrestling community and they love it just the way we do. And they want to get to know a little bit about us, a little bit about the wrestling industry, or just follow us because they're loyal people who love us and who we love. We want to take a moment and say thank you all. Thank you very, very much for being here and listening. And we hope this interview was as enjoyable for you to listen to as it was for us to record.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're already on the roll, brother. Just go ahead, finish it off, man. Where can people find us?
I mean, well, yeah. So as per usual, no, I'm kidding. Primosforlife.com. Please head over there. You can find us everywhere: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. We're on Amazon, TikTok, Instagram, all the stuff. Whenever you get there, please subscribe, smash the like button. We appreciate it. We always say it. I say it, till I'm blue in the face. This ride is great. It's more enjoyable when we know you're on it with us, because it makes us want to be that much better. And every like, every comment, every single share, whatever you guys could do to let us know that you're still there and you're just down, we appreciate wholeheartedly. We cannot thank you enough. And I'm done rambling. So what I will say is we will see you when we see you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We will see you when we see you, because it feels weird that you said it. So, good night, everybody.
I always say it. Last time I put you on the spot, you died. You froze.
Yeah, you're right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.